Welcome to Informe, a social media conversation part of Salcha.com. On December 18, 2013, it's 1 week before Christmas. The new year is coming, and we're going to spend some time talking about 2013 in review as social media and look ahead a little bit to 2014. We'll talk about Facebook, we'll talk about Twitter.
We're going to talk about some of the little guys too, like Snapchat, Pinterest.
Yeah, we're going to dig it all together. We're going to have some fun. We're going to laugh. I'll get on my soapbox just a little bit, and we're going to spend some time hopefully drawing information that will help small and medium businesses become more effective on social media. And it's Christmas, so we wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Keep watching. There's lots to come. Welcome to Informe. From 1 week before Christmas on December 18th, 2013. I'm Nate Manahan.
And I'm Dustin Hickle. I'm the social media director at PayPro Media.
Hey, and this is a show that we record weekly for a new product that's going to come out that we're just starting to tease called Salcha. And if you want to know what Salcha is, so do we. No, we know what it is. We want to help and empower and secure in the business world, small businesses, medium businesses, give you tools, resources. And it's going to be rolling out in 2014. You can go to Salcha.com and sign up for an email. But this is one of the shows that will appear weekly on Salcha. Yeah. And this week, we're putting it out for you as a special Christmas edition that you can just kind of get a little tease. We did one at Thanksgiving. Now we're doing one at Christmas. And at Christmas time, we're going to talk year-end review.
Yeah.
What's going on in the world, what's happening in the social media stratosphere. So let's start by let's look at what I a lot of times call the brand social media platform of the year. And I think that's Instagram. It's the one that it's grabbed the most attention, added the most features this year, and brands are really grabbing how to use it. What do you think are some of the changes that happened first in Instagram this year and how they improve?
Yeah, well, obviously we got video this year. That was the big feature. Went from just people snapping pictures of their lunches and posting it for all their friends to see to, oh wait, we can actually use this as kind of like a commercial almost, or some kind of fun, whimsical video. It's really, really cool. And the latest one, which we just talked about last week on our show, so make sure to go back in the archives and check that one out. We got Instagram Direct, a direct competitor to Snapchat a little bit. So those are the two big things that happened.
And they've really just continued to improve and keep streamline their platform. Now, with the Instagram Direct, a little bit of a missional creep, I would say. Yeah. Because the beauty of Vine, the beauty of Instagram has been that they've been streamlined, focused, and simple. And in all of these places, Instagram started launching their ads, and I haven't found them cumbersome at this point. I haven't seen a couple. I think part of it is they're rolling it out so slowly. But Instagram, by the brand usage of some of these things, Red Bull on the big brands, but some of the smaller, like I followed Charity Water this last weekend, and they posted some of the most beautiful pictures of their charity water ball that they were doing in New York City, where they raised like $4+ million in one event to do some wells. Great props to Charity Water and what they were doing. But I followed it not through Twitter, not through Facebook. I followed it through Instagram as they posted pictures of what was going on. And then what was interesting is I had a couple friends that I follow on Instagram that got to go to the event, and they were posting pictures. And it was like I was there, and they did some little short 15-second videos. And I was like, this is a great way to brand, a great way for us to interact. And it wasn't me having to commit through a YouTube 8-minute video. It wasn't me watching a live stream. It was simply I was finding something simple. And I think this is something that brands have to grab a hold of. Absolutely. Instagram, to me, if they don't screw it up, not limit the ads. As a brand marketer, I want to have those ads. I want to be able to put them. I want to think strategically about how to put those in people's line of sight. But don't do too many, and don't start expanding, and don't start thinking I'm going to become a text messaging campaign program and do that from Instagram. And that's what when I saw the Instagram Direct, I was like, I like the one-on-one. We talked about it last week. It's a good movement for brands. It scares me a little bit. Don't go any farther.
Yeah, absolutely.
And maybe it's my fear of the Mark Zuckerberg effect. They want to be all things to all people, and I don't think that's great for us.
Yeah, I think Instagram has a really nice niche that they've kind of gotten into. They've got obviously a huge following, and a lot of people actually saw an infographic on Pinterest that just says, pull it up here, 12% of online users are on Instagram, but 54% of the top businesses are on Instagram. So businesses are seeing the value and grabbing onto it. and the actual users are growing too. I mean, I'm on it, you're on it. I don't know that many people who don't have an Instagram account.
Right. Because it's so easy to simply visually show what
Sure,
you're doing and
absolutely.
to engage. And we talk so much about the 10-4-1. Share 10 things about other people. Share 4 things that are personal, and then do 1 ask. And we talk so much about it's, as Gary Vaynerchuk says, jab, 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 give, give, give. Instagram makes it simple to do that because you can give things that are outside of your spectrum. We can, you can take Instagram pictures of what's going on and make little funny jokes. You've been doing a great job with Pay Pro Media's. Follow, little funny little short videos about Christmas. They don't really have anything to do with the core competency of Pay Pro Media, other than it's creative, so that somewhat plays into us. But it does give that just a little fun, little insight. It's
totally,
a great place
and it also gives the way that I'm kind of looking at it too is it gives people kind of an insight into us and who we are as a team and as people, not just this big far off Pay Pro Media brand. Like we're just having fun. We're just like everybody else. We're normal people, and we're having a good time. So that's a really good use of Instagram, practical application. We've talked about that before. But yeah, Instagram, I think that's the place to be. I agree with you. That's the place for businesses in 2014.
Yeah. Moving on, Twitter. Obviously, Twitter IPO this year. Launched out. They have an evaluation much higher than I thought they would have. They've kept their, I haven't looked in the last 2 days because I don't own any of their stock, but they certainly made a lot of money in those first few days. Bizstone and all the team there. They've done well financially for themselves, and when they can cash out, things are going pretty well. I wonder, where do we think Twitter is? Where do we think? What's the statement of Twitter for the status of Twitter at the end of 2013?
Yeah, well, we talked before the show that it's kind of going all media. Everything's media based. Everything's kind of media driven within the Twitter stream, which is really interesting. The NFL Network and what was it? NBC has a contract with them now. Like so many different
NBC
TV
Universal,
channels have contracts with Twitter so that they can actually get their footage in stream on Twitter. That's kind of interesting because I never really would have seen Twitter going that way and partnering with TVs and commercial and all the different media outlets out there. But they're trying to keep you in their stream and they're trying to help you try to be the second screen to what you're watching. Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, they've gone and like Facebook, they were first to do it, go mobile, and they've turned that media to be able to go into the mobile, so you can watch the videos right in your platform and the faster phones that are coming out and the iPads and the Nexus 7s. They are certainly a brand opportunity. What I'm afraid of is, as they start looking for ways to make money and they realize that they need to make money, and investors will start requiring that of them. I don't think they're going to be an Amazon where investors are going to be fine with them playing the long play and keep investing in their infrastructure and not make money. What are they going to do? How are they going to balance advertising and the consumer? And so that's going to be a question. They've added so many features this year, and they're little trials, I forget what they call them, but like the recommendation engine that you can do. They're trying little interesting things with their direct messaging, that they've changed how they do direct messaging. We'll see what they do. I think for brands, to me, if I was going to rank, I would rank Facebook still, we'll talk about that in a minute, still number 1 because they have the 1.4 billion users. And then Instagram, which is owned by Facebook, and then I would say Twitter. So we'll see. We'll see what Twitter does. I think some brands are using it really uniquely, putting out some messages. I really like what some of the brands are doing with their, telling stories through 140 characters and thinking through that. That's a really cool thing. Totally. Everyone should be on Twitter. I think. Let's think. What do you think? What do you think will happen with Twitter in the next year? What did 2014? What's 2014 hold for Twitter?
Man, I tell you what. I think that Twitter will continue to be very popular. I think we'll get even more of the younger population moving to Twitter, and I think that. I'm not sure what kind of features are going to roll out, but I think we're going to end up with more ads than we want. That's my guess. I think we're going to have more people moving that way. Twitter's going to see that growth, and they're going to kind of push more ads to us in stream or more promoted posts or something like that. And then we might start to see a little bit less growth because of all those ads. That's my guess.
Right.
What do you think?
I think that I hope for brands that we're going to finally capitalize on the information that's involved in Twitter.
Oh, yeah,
because
totally.
people are putting so much of their life out there in 140 characters, and the capability to go to search.twitter or use TweetDeck or other there's resources to dive down and find out what people are actually saying about
absolutely.
you or what you're selling or even about the brands that you're competing against. You can find out how they're commenting. And I think Twitter is the best place for customer service, which is, we've talked about this in our show, that is marketing.
Yeah.
Customer service is, and how people feel about you is the number one thing you can do. And Twitter's a great place to do that. Twitter certainly is the second platform that everyone should be on, maybe third platform. Yet, for some reason, I still feel Facebook, with all of its warts and all of its frustrations, is the first place that every brand should create their page. And I don't think it's an either or. I think, yes, there are certain things you just do, and you should have a Twitter account, you should have an Instagram account, you should have a Facebook account. But where do we think Facebook, where have they been this past year? What things have they changed in 2013, and where do we think they're going?
Yeah, you know what? Facebook has started to actually annoy me a little bit, especially as a social media strategist and director. Their algorithm has made it so difficult to get your message out to your their new algorithm has made it so difficult to get your message out to the right people because they want to make money. They want you to pay to explode your message. So it's gotten more difficult. That's been irritating. They've also done a lot with ads. They've done a lot with, most recently actually this last week, autoplay ads just started.
Yeah. I haven't seen that yet in my stream. I'm going to it right now, and
Okay.
we'll see if something pops up. But I've heard people that have had it pop up
Right.
and happen on their stream, and wow,
Why?
Facebook just, who's making the decision back there? I mean, have they lost all user interface, experts and the people out there? Because you've got to think, how can we not annoy our consumers? Do they think they're so big people won't leave them? MySpace thought that a few years
That's
ago.
true. Yeah.
And MySpace,
Right,
I had to go to it for the first time in months just to kind of look at it. Great design. People still aren't there.
Right.
You can lose people quickly. And
And I honestly think that, I've had conversations with other people on my team, other people here in the office, and if this sort of trend that Facebook's going on continues, they're gonna be MySpace again. They're you put it in our show today. You put it in our rundown. This is the year that Facebook stumbled.
Yeah.
That's just as good as you can put it, as well, or as concisely as you can put it. I don't know. I'm not really sure. I'm hoping that they realize the error of their ways and decide they're going to turn it around and make it more engaging and about us again. But right now it's just about them making money and pleasing their investors, and that's going to make for a very difficult time keeping me, and especially people younger than me, interested.
Yeah, I wonder if what Mark Zuckerberg, never met him, and sometimes you feel like you know him because you watch The Social Network, and I realize that's probably not a good judge of how I know him. But I certainly realize that they are copying what others are doing fairly quickly or going out and buying it because they can't do it.
Right.
So, a few weeks ago it came out that they had offered $3 billion to Snapchat.
Right.
It's because they needed that user base. They have had to come out and admit that younger people are using Facebook less and less, and they have to figure that out. They all still have accounts, but they're not going and watching their streams. There's something, and they, for some reason, want to see themselves as a news aggregator instead of a way to interconnect with people.
Yeah.
So they have some major decisions to make, and this is something we have to monitor as those who are marketing brands and working in small and medium businesses, is we have to figure out how in the world do we engage in social media, and does Facebook actually make a lot of sense? And I would say we still do.
Yeah.
You still put stuff up there, but that's the amount of time that I say you spend on Facebook is shrinking.
Yeah.
Because it's just not the return on investment isn't there compared to other platforms.
And too, that also depends on where your buyer persona, your target market is. If it's more of the a little bit older crowd, a little bit more middle-aged crowd that have been on Facebook, they're not leaving Facebook as quickly. Now you've left Facebook, and you're a little bit older than I am, which is not. I'm just throwing that out there. Just
picking on me.
It's just a little.
Yeah, you reminded me a few weeks ago that I'm closer to your dad's age, but just stop with that, okay?
But still, you hear what I'm saying.
No, I understand.
Businesses and business-to-business business owners tend to be on Facebook more. than someone younger than me. So if your target market is teenagers and college students, Facebook might not be the place anymore.
Well, and certainly Facebook, it's important to have the page there. It's important for people to be able to find you because there are people that use Facebook and they may use the search engine to find you on Facebook versus going to Google. However, I think more and more, if you don't have the funding to go pay to play for them, you're not going to get found very easily. And they've come out and said, look, for brands, less than 5% of your messaging is actually going to be seen by even people who like you. And that means in order to get out there, you have to actually pay to get your message across. And that is a hard thing. It should be a place where Facebook or other platforms, if you're willing to put the time in, that you can make sure your message gets across. And Facebook's making it that you can't do that. They're just saying you have to pay. Now, if you have the funding to do that, it's a great platform. And their analytics and what they allow to do on the pay side is amazing. And maybe that's where they're going to need to go as business, and that's just something. So if you don't have to pay, everybody have a Facebook page, but if you can't pay, focus on some of the other platforms.
Focus on Twitter or Instagram. Or, like I was talking about before, if your target market is business owners, focus on LinkedIn. We're going to talk about that next. Man, I think LinkedIn's got some pretty good potential for this next year.
They are really positioning themselves to be more than just the resume factory. That's kind of what they've, at least what I saw them as, is, hey, when I needed to go find a job or I needed to go find someone new to work for us, I go to LinkedIn. That's more, they're becoming more and more, this is the place I go to find business expertise. And if I want to find what people are talking about, if I want to find tips, if I want to help, I join a group, I find out what other people are doing it, I find recommendations of a company. If I need to find a great plumbing company in the community, I may go to LinkedIn and find it. You know, there are other places, you know, I can choose to pay to be on Angie's list, or I can go to LinkedIn and find out what other people are saying, who's the most professional plumber in the community. I think LinkedIn is someplace the businesses that want to do B2B sales, spend a little more time on it. Express you. Get those showcase pages that they're allowing you to do, because you can take all the different things. If you sell 4 different things, use LinkedIn. LinkedIn's a great tool.
So. I'm all about it. I use it regularly. I mean, I'm on there on the mobile app. I'm on there on my laptop all day long. Keeping up with the latest stories and the latest things that are happening in the social media world and the business world. I've joined, I don't know, some exorbitant amount of groups. I share content there. I get content from those groups.
It's a targeted blogging engine in a lot of ways now, focused on the B2B market. So those who are managers and experts can go and find what other people are saying and advice they're giving. It's becoming something that everyone should be thinking about and using. I'm really bullish on LinkedIn, and I'm not a huge user of it yet. In fact, I kind of feel guilty about it, so I'll get back into that. There's so many things and so many social media platforms. Like, I realized that in our rundown, I didn't even write the word Google Plus down yet. Let's spend just a few moments talking about all the others. So let's each maybe take one. I'll take Snapchat, because I think that's the one, to me right now, that brands that are targeting 15, 13 to 25-year-olds should figure out how to use. And it's an interesting brand. Obviously, Instagram is trying with the direct to be able to do it. I'm really high on Snapchat. Now, if they don't continue to improve, it'll fail. Gary Vaynerchuk, I mentioned him a lot because I follow him a lot. I think he has a lot of great insights. He did an interview last week at Le Web in Paris, and he was talking about Snapchat and how high he was, and he says the problem is they have not improved their interface on their mobile in the last few months. And unless they get their, he used some expletives, which he's known to do, unless they get their stuff together and improve their mobile app, they will miss it. But right now, they're the leader of being able to create unique, different messaging that people see, and you don't have to pay to play. If you can get people to follow you, if you can get 50 people, they will see what you say if they're an active Snapchat user.
Absolutely. I mean, you can send it directly to however many people you want to. I mean, it's just
get people in the room, become creative, and say, you know what? We're going to sell hammers. and we're going to create the coolest hammering little 7-second video that we can send out. And we're going to use 40 hammers in once. I'm just trying to create off the top of my list. But come up with unique ways. Yeah. And there are things, let's go out and get them messages and be funny. And Snapchat is a great way to do it. I love to see brands engage on it. It will become too busy, but if you're willing in beginning of 2014 to spend some time in Snapchat, you can be really the first of the party. There are some brands that are using it well. Sure. And that's a great way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And use your other social media platforms to drive people to be your friend on Snapchat. You know, use your Facebook followers or your Facebook people who like your page and your Twitter followers and say, hey, here's our Snapchat account. Come and be friends with us. And then go from there.
And here's what I think, Dustin. I think if you are a major user of Instagram, you can drive a lot of traffic to Snapchat because I think it's the same demographics that are using it. And Instagram is a little easier to get followers, but if you can drive 10% of your followers on Instagram over to your Snapchat, those people will then use it, engage with it, reshare it. There's all kinds of things I think people can do with Snapchat. Yeah. 2014, I want to see in the first quarter how people use Snapchat. It's the quarter of, I don't know, revelation for Snapchat. Will they make it? Will they start decline? Should they have taken the $3 billion? Will people actually continue to use it? Will they be able to monetize in some way? Snapchat has a lot of things to answer, and brands have a lot to answer. How can we creatively use this product to push our message and to help invest in our sales?
Absolutely.
And so, that's Snapchat. How about other platforms that are?
I'm going to talk about Google Plus. I'll leave Pinterest to you because I know you're a Pinterest powerhouse. But I love Google Plus, and it's such a shame that there's not enough users there to make it a Facebook because the features are awesome.
And 2013 was a great year of UI improvements, and so they did a lot of good things on Google Plus in 2013.
They did. I mean, they've got so many tools. I mean, just with Hangouts and with Helpouts and with the way that they're organizing hashtags and they have groups and your circles. I mean, it just makes social media easy. It's just exactly what you want to be able to do. Organize the people that you follow, organize the groups that you're in, organize the pages that you follow, and then have a video conversation with all of them if you want to.
It's like the best of all worlds when you go to it, except it's crickets when you get there.
Right.
But it's images, and there's lots of text, and it's simple, and it's got a great UI, and it's mobile, and you can take pictures, and it has those auto awesome features, both in video and picture. Yeah. All this, check out Google Plus, but the problem is you go there, and yes, they say they have millions and hundreds of millions of users, and you go there and people aren't saying anything. Right. And you put something out there and they don't say anything. Now, there's some brands and there's some verticals that do it really well. Photography, for one. If you're in the photography business and you're not on Google Plus, you're missing out. If you're not on Flickr and 500 pixels and all the different, photo sharing, you're missing out. But at the same time, I love Google Plus like yourself. I don't use it well enough. Part of that is we have a limited amount of time. Yep. It's important to be there. We did, we talk about this. Why should every business be on Google Plus? Because it's Google.
Yep, absolutely. And I'm such a huge fan of Google Plus. I just think that if people were to use it and to get involved in it, invest in it, and like you said, it's Google. So anything you put up there is going to help you with your Google indexing on SEO and all that. But actually using it as people, just you and me, not even necessarily brands, people would love it. I really, truly believe that you guys would love it. So get out there, give it a try. Tell your friends to try it too, because if you go out there and there's nobody there, then it's not fun. But if you just tell your friends, get a group of people and just say, hey, let's commit to using Google Plus for the next 10 days and see what it's like, you guys will love it. I almost guarantee it.
And this is the hard thing. Google is so good at what they do. Yeah. And doing it well, but the problem is they have too many good things they're doing, and they're so broad. And so in the news cycle, they may get 3 seconds for Google Plus to get a push, but then suddenly they're launching Google Glass, and they're launching a new Nexus 7, and they have a new Android, Kit Kat coming out, and then on top of that, Andy Rubin is out there making robots, and they buy Boston. There's just too many things with Google, and on the news cycle, there's just all this stuff going on, which is great for their business, and they're taking all these signals and taking it back to their core competency and selling ads on search. Yeah. And they know more about us than the NSA. But they certainly, Google Plus and social media, I want to see it succeed. Yeah. I think 2014, we'll see a little growth, and it's the question, what will Larry Page do with Google Plus.
Yeah.
If he decides that this is going to become a core feature of what we want to do, everything is social, they've said that, then I think it could succeed. They've tried to do it, they've positioned it, it's ready. It's not going to fail.
Right.
It's Google right now.
Right.
It could soar in 2014. And my bold prediction in 2014, I believe that we're going to see a 20% increase of brands in their engagement in Google Plus.
Awesome.
And so that's my prediction. We can find out in a year whether I'm totally full of what. All right, but let's talk Pinterest. Snapchat I'm high on. Pinterest, doggone it, they are good.
They are, aren't
and they people are using it so blessed. They don't have the user base. They're number 6 or whatever amount of users, but their users are so crazily fanatical. Can I use all those words together?
I think you should.
About Pinterest, and they are on there for hours on end, and they're spending their life engaged in all these pin boards and pinning things, and that brands who are doing it well are making money hand over fist. So if you're not on Pinterest, be on there. Figure out how to use it. Figure out how to become image centric in what you do. Even if you don't think there's nothing. If you're a service organization and you say there's nothing to take a picture of. I just simply do consulting on accounting. How do I take pictures? Take pictures of money and put it up there. I don't care.
Anything.
Figure out how to get Excel spreadsheets and make them exciting. Make an infographic. Absolutely. Infographics move the needle on Pinterest.
Yep.
Pinterest in 2014, we are going to see a major push. If Google pushes at 20%, Pinterest, we're going to see it's double in its user base, because I think they've got the venture capital in there. They're playing the long game. They've got investors that are saying, hey, we can do this. And then secondly, they are going to figure out how to do advertising. And mark my words, if they figure out, they just launched that Pinterest local, they're going to roll out advertising that makes it capable for us in Warsaw, Indiana, and Northern Indiana to target, just like Facebook allows us to, people that are just in our region. Then doggone it, it's going to be really powerful for small businesses, so pay attention to it. Okay, off my soapbox. What do you think?
I'm in complete agreement with everything you said. Everything is so visual right now. It's the same with Instagram, it's the same with Snapchat, but Pinterest is just it's just this world of visually beautiful and stunning everything. I mean, anything you can think of, from cars to golf to anything a boutique would post. Everything is just so gorgeous, and the people who are there. I mean, what's the stat? They tend to spend an hour and a half or 2 hours per time that they're on Pinterest or something.
From 9 to 11 Eastern time, there's so many people on Pinterest, because at that point, some of the people are starting to get off work in the Pacific time, and obviously, their numbers and the amount of use, it rivals Netflix on data, and their data is not heavy. It just means they have that many people that are using it for that much time.
Right.
Now, Netflix still uses huge amounts, because 24 hours a day, they're just like a source of incredible data going through. But yeah, Pinterest, it's fascinating.
People love it, and they use it religiously, on binge Pinterest runs.
I don't know if Pinterest planned on doing this, but they have by Facebook allowing them to repin things on their Facebook streams. I think they're killing Facebook, and it may not be bad for them. And it's how people have gotten over it, and then Pinterest becomes their first place stop. When they open their computer, they don't go to Facebook to see what's going on. They go to Pinterest to see what's going on in the world. They're not going to be, and they've staged at this point fairly simple in the streaming, or what goes into their stream. You don't see them trying to become a news aggregator. I hope that stay focused on just collecting great information, sharing it, and aggregating it, curating it, and brands are going to jump at it. They're going to make money. We're going to make money, and people are going to figure out how to make great eggnog.
Yeah. I mean, how many times do you see people go for recipes or DIYs or projects and all that? That's their first stop. They're not searching Google anymore.
Yep.
It's oh, hey, I actually did a project. I refinished my whole cabinet and painted it. I have a cousin who sanded down a whole old cabinet, refinished it, sanded it, painted it, the whole thing, and it looks awesome. Changed the handles on it, found out how to do it on Pinterest. She's like, if you have anything that you want to do like that, go to Pinterest. Just go do it.
Yep.
Just makes sense. It is such a powerful tool, so make sure you're using it.
Yep. So let's end up, every show when we do these Informe social media conversation shows, we end up with an infographic of the week. And this week's infographic I thought was appropriate. It looks like Hootsuite put it together, which is a great platform. We use it there. One of the platforms to do management of social media. We encourage you to check out and find some way to manage your social media platforms. But this one is the 5 years of social media, and it analyzes what's been happening for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And it just talks about from 2008, 2013, some of the major changes that we've seen on social media. First, the biggest thing is that a quarter of the world's population is involved in social media.
Yeah. That's
And
1,730,000,000 plus active users.
Yeah, that's that's why you need to be involved in it, because even television couldn't drive that. If you could buy a Super Bowl ad every year, which you can't because you're a small and medium business, and that would be incredibly a poor decision unless you won the Intuit
That's true.
big game.
Yeah, if you won that, then you're in good shape.
Then you're in good shape. You didn't have to pay for it. But even at that, they get 1 billion. The pool that you get to play in. Now it's a hard work and it's not easy. And the cost of money is not there. It's the cost of your time. It's the cost of your strategy. It's getting the right people, the right message, and getting it at the right place at the right time. So it's not simple. We're not saying that. That's why you need to hire Dustin to do your work for you. But we are saying it's a big pool and it's changed a lot. And as we look at that, it also does, the social networks are worth a little bit of money.
Yeah, it says the total value of the top social networks. Now, don't stand up. Well, don't sit down because you'll stand right back up. So, 150 billion.
What
is that, right? 150 billion,
$600
$600 million
is their valuation.
is the valuation.
Wow, look at that.
That is insane. I mean, you guys can see this infographic. Be sure you check it out. Facebook's worth over 100 billion by itself. LinkedIn's valued at 26.6 billion, and Twitter, according to this, is 24 billion. That by itself, enough reason to be on those 3 social networks at least.
Yeah. And lastly, 2013, I like that they put this. Everyone loves a good video. And Instagram added video. Vine became more of a player. Twitter bought them, I think, in 2012. But obviously, Instagram added video. And we're sitting here as this is being recorded knowing that in a few days this is going to be posted on YouTube, which is one we didn't even mention, another Google property. The social aspect of everything being visual and the motion capabilities of doing that with video. I love the new iPhone ad. I don't know if you've seen it. It's about a 1.5-minute ad, and they filmed it all on their iPhone. And the story is they show this guy going around filming on an iPhone. Then they get there at Christmas morning, and the family draws a tear. And he, through AirPlay, has an Apple TV, and it's an Apple ad. And right there on their big screen is everything that had been happening as the family came together at Christmas. And they were able to put it together in seconds.
Yeah.
And video, I think, is going to be a powerful medium. Not just because we can do it professionally here at PayPro Media and part of the Salcha team, but because it tells stories, and that's what social media is about. And at this time of year, when we're at Christmas time, it's all about telling the story of who we are, where we are, and how we want to become, more effective at what we do, better at what we do.
Absolutely.
And
so, I mean, use that too. I mean, this is the time for you to tell your story. This is the time for you to let people know who you are, to connect with them, to be a part of the Christmas season, the holiday season, and that's what it's about. So go ahead and use that, and like you said, video is the way to go right now. If you can put together even a simple 30-second clip of you guys saying, "Hey, Merry Christmas," from us at whatever your business name is, that has a huge impact. So make sure you're taking advantage of that and telling your story, because that's what people want to know. That's what social media is all about.
Yeah, and that's what we're all about here at Salcha. The Salcha is going to be a web-based service that will help you as a small business hopefully grow, get the content you want to do. And this week we recorded a Biz Tech show, a Informe show that we're on now. We're recording a Moving Forward show. All 3 shows that will become a regular part of Salcha when it launches in 2014. And these are just little tastes because we want you to kind of watch them and make a comment on the YouTube stream.
Yes.
Or you can tweet at us. We're the Social Media Show. You can get at me at NKManahan.
You can get a hold of me at Dustin Hickle or at PayPro Media. Either way, I'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, and you can go to PayPro Media. You can fill out a contact form. You can go to salcha.com, and that's SALTSHA.com, and you can literally sign up for an email newsletter that's going to help you stay informed when Salcha is going to launch, what some of the features are. There's going to be freebies. There are all kinds of things that we have planned in 2014.
So get excited.
Yeah, because what we want to do is create content that helps small and medium businesses, extremely focused, and help curate the information out there to help make you more effective, more efficient as a small business leader, and get your story out there in 2014.
Absolutely.
Help you become a better small business, not because we're great at it, but because we're going to spend our time trying to make you better.
Right.
And part of that, what you can do is help us do that. So give us comments,
Mm-hmm.
tweet at us, follow us, interact with us. We're going to be creating this content for you, and so it helps us if you tell us what you want.
Hey,
what
and
would be
honestly,
helpful.
it's okay. Tell us what we did well. Tell us what we did poorly, because we want to know.
Yeah.
We want to make
Yeah.
things better. So
Yeah.
I won't be offended. Are you going to be offended?
No, and
So-
we know that, you know, with sitting here and recording this in front of our live studio audience that you guys can't see, we don't make all the perfect word choices. We don't make all the perfect recordings. When it's edited, it won't be. We'll get better at this.
Yeah.
But we want to put out a product in 2014 that makes a difference, that actually meets a need, and we believe there's a need out there for small and medium businesses to have tips and tools and resources at their fingertips that they can quickly access. That'll help them grow them, help them to, as we like to say. Educate them, or we say learn, grow, stay current. And that's what the SALCHA is about. SALCHA, we'll explain that term. We kind of like it, that it does have a meaning behind it, and we'll give you that meaning in a little while in the months to come. But a little tease there.
Yeah.
But most importantly, Informe is a social media conversation, and SALCHA is about learning, growing, and staying current. We hope that you'll watch some of the other shows, that you'll check out salcha.com, sign up for the e-newsletter, and what we really want to do at the end of this is say Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Have a wonderful holiday season.
Thank you, and we'll see you next time.